ATI TEAS 7 Math Crash Course. Question 1. During a task at the simulation laboratory, a volunteer is planning practice syringes. Solve 2x plus 8 36. Option A hex less than 28. Option B hex greater than 14. Option C hex less than 14. Option D hex greater than 13. The correct answer is option C, x less than 14. An inequality is solved with the same inverse operations used for equations. Keep the inequality direction when adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing by a positive value. The direction reverses only when both sides are multiplied or divided by a negative number. For the volunteer's record at the simulation laboratory, the final selection should preserve the stated unit or mathematical form for practice syringes. Question 2. At the campus bookstore, a volunteer reviews quantities involving study packets, with the estimating stage. A cylinder has radius 3 inches and height 11 inches. Using 3.14 for pi, what is its volume? Option A 103.62 cubic inches. Option B 28.26 cubic inches. Option C 207.24 cubic inches. Option D 310.86 cubic inches. The correct answer is option D, 310.86 cubic inches. Square the radius, multiply by pi, and then multiply by the height. Cylinder volume equals the area of the circular base multiplied by height. Circumference times height would describe a lateral surface rather than the space inside. For the volunteer's record at the campus bookstore, the final selection should preserve the stated unit or mathematical form for study packets. Question 3. A planning sheet from the community health fair lists information about sample containers, with the volunteer handling the converting stage. A line graph shows values 12, 13, 21, 17, 22 across 5 periods. During which interval is the increase greatest? Option A, period 1 to period 2. Option B, period 3 to period 4. Option C, period 4 to period 5. Option D, period 2 to period 3. The correct answer is option D, period 2 to period 3. The steepest upward segment corresponds to the largest positive change between consecutive points. The highest point identifies a maximum level, not necessarily the interval with the fastest increase. Subtract each earlier value from the next value and compare the 4 changes. For the volunteer's record at the community health fair, the final selection should preserve the stated unit or mathematical form for sample containers. Stressed about your real estate? We can take real estate for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee a pass and payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done. Question 4. While working in the Student Resource Center, a volunteer must calculate a value for appointment cards, with the grouping stage. A trip covers 180 miles in 6 hours. What is the average speed? Option A 1080 miles per hour. Option B 0 miles per hour. Option C 30 miles per hour. Option D 174 miles per hour. The correct answer is option C, 30 miles per hour. Use miles as the numerator and hours as the denominator to form the rate. The unit label should be miles per hour, not total miles. Average speed is the total distance divided by total time. For the volunteer's record at the Student Resource Center, the final selection should preserve the stated unit or mathematical form for appointment cards. Question 5. The clinic supply room uses a record to track boxes of gloves, with the volunteer handling the scheduling stage. 2 portions measure 1/3 and 3/5 of the same whole. What is their combined amount? Option A 4/15. Option B 14/15. Option C 1/2. Option D 1/5. The correct answer is option B, 14/15. Adding denominators would change the size of the parts and does not preserve either original value. Fractions must describe equal minus sized parts before their numerators can be combined. Rewrite the quantities with a common denominator, add the numerators, and simplify the result. For the volunteer's record at the clinic supply room, the final selection should preserve the stated unit or mathematical form for boxes of gloves. Question 6. For a project in the Nursing Skills Workshop, a volunteer is recording nutrition labels. A package of 6 identical items costs $18. What is the cost per item? Option A $3. Option B $12. Option C, $2.57. Option D, $108. The correct answer is option A, $3. Multiplying the quantities would produce a value that grows with the package size instead of reducing it to 1 unit. Divide the total cost by the number of identical items in the package. A unit rate expresses the cost for exactly one item. For the volunteer's record at the Nursing Skills Workshop, the final selection should preserve the stated unit or mathematical form for nutrition labels. Question 7. A report prepared at the public library summarizes data about measuring cups, with the volunteer handling the planning stage. Evaluate 4x plus 7 when x equals 7. Option A, 21. Option B, 56. Option C, 18. Option D, 35. The correct answer is option D, 35. Evaluating an expression means replacing the variable with its given value. Substitute the value using parentheses, complete multiplication, and then combine the constant term. Following the order of operations prevents the substitution from being added before multiplication. For the volunteer's record at the public library, the final selection should preserve the stated unit or mathematical form for measuring cups. Question 8. Before an activity at the college cafeteria, a volunteer checks the amount of training manuals, with the estimating stage. A triangular panel has a base of 14 centimeters and a perpendicular height of 9 centimeters. What is its area? Option A, the 11.5 square centimeters. Option B, 126 square centimeters. Option C, 63 square centimeters. Option D, 23 square centimeters. The correct answer is option C, 63 square centimeters. Multiply the base by the height and divide the product by 2. A triangle occupies half the area of a rectangle with the same base and perpendicular height. Using the slanted side in place of the perpendicular height would not measure the correct surface. For the volunteer's record at the college cafeteria, the final selection should preserve the stated unit or mathematical form for training manuals.
Are you looking for ATI TEAS actual questions? Visit our website pokerexams.com to access ATI TEAS study guide with actual questions and answers. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description to get ATI TEAS answer key today.
Question 9. The volunteer at the neighborhood garden is responsible for converting water bottles. A data display contains 26, 23, 27, 28. What is the average value? Option A, 26.0. Option B, 5. Option C, 104. Option D, 26.5. The correct answer is option A, 26.0. An average balances the total equally across all observations. The average should remain within the observed minimum and maximum. Add the displayed values and divide by the number of entries. For the volunteer's record at the neighborhood garden, the final selection should preserve the stated unit or mathematical form for water bottles. Question 10. A worksheet used in the fitness center contains measurements for first-aid kits, with the volunteer handling the grouping stage. Round 341.28 to the nearest tenth. Option A, 341.4. Option B, 341.3. Option C, 341.2. Option D, 341.5. The correct answer is option B, 341.3. Increase the target digit when the neighboring digit is 5 or more, otherwise leave it unchanged. All digits to the right are then removed or replaced with zeros according to place value. Rounding uses the digit immediately to the right of the requested place. For the volunteer's record at the fitness center, the final selection should preserve the stated unit or mathematical form for first-aid kits. Question 11. As part of a routine check at the mobile screening unit, a volunteer examines bus passes, with the preparing stage. The record shows 79 items from one delivery and 25 from another. How many items are listed altogether? Option A, 114. Option B, 54. Option C, 104. Option D, 1975. The correct answer is option C, 104. A reasonable check is that the total must be greater than either delivery by itself. Addition combines separate quantities that belong to the same total. Align the place values and add each column, regrouping when a column reaches 10. For the volunteer's record at the mobile screening unit, the final selection should preserve the stated unit or mathematical form for bus passes. Question 12. A supply request from the training classroom includes several entries for poster boards, with the volunteer handling the recording stage. The proportion 2/12 equals 8/x models the situation. Which value makes the proportion true? Option A, 96. Option B, 1.3. Option C, 22. Option D, 48.0. The correct answer is option D, 48.0. Substituting the result back into both ratios should produce matching values. Cross minus multiply to create an equation and divide by the coefficient attached to the unknown. A proportion states that two ratios are equal. For the volunteer's record at the training classroom, the final selection should preserve the stated unit or mathematical form for poster boards. Question 13. The pharmacy inventory room is preparing for an event that uses lab trays, with the volunteer handling the planning stage. Which value equals square root 81? Option A 9, option B 10, option C 81, option D 8. The correct answer is option A, 9. A square root identifies the non-negative number that produces the radicand when multiplied by itself. Find the factor whose square matches the value under the radical. Using the radicand itself would confuse a square with its inverse operation. For the volunteer's record at the pharmacy inventory room, the final selection should preserve the stated unit or mathematical form for lab trays. Question 14. A volunteer creates a calculation for storage bins at the bus scheduling office, with the estimating stage. What is the horizontal distance between 2, 6, and 9, 6? Option A 11, option B 7, option C 13, option D 4. The correct answer is option B, 7. Subtract the x minus coordinates and take the absolute value to obtain distance. Points with the same y minus coordinate lie on a horizontal line. The shared vertical coordinate does not contribute to horizontal separation. For the volunteer's record at the bus scheduling office, the final selection should preserve the stated unit or mathematical form for storage bins. Question 15. Information collected in the community kitchen describes how classroom chairs are being used, with the volunteer handling the converting stage. A right triangle has legs of 7 units and 24 units. What is the hypotenuse? Option A 168 units, option B 17 units, option C 25 units, option D 31 units. The correct answer is option C, 25 units. The Pythagorean theorem relates the two legs of a right triangle to its hypotenuse. Adding the side lengths directly does not account for the right minus angle geometry. Square both legs, add the squares, and take the square root of the sum. For the volunteer's record at the community kitchen, the final selection should preserve the stated unit or mathematical form for classroom chairs. Question 16. A schedule at the medical records office includes a numerical condition involving survey forms, with the volunteer handling the inspecting stage. An event occurred 6 times in 40 trials. What is the experimental probability of the event? Option A 3/17, option B is 17/20, option C 3/20, option D 6 2/3. The correct answer is option C, 3/20. Divide the number of recorded successes by the total number of trials and simplify. Increasing the number of trials generally makes the experimental rate more stable. Experimental probability is based on observed results rather than a theoretical model. For the volunteer's record at the medical records office, the final selection should preserve the stated unit or mathematical form for survey forms. Question 17. The volunteer compares 2 records about workbooks in the science laboratory, with the preparing stage. How much simple interest is earned on $500 at 7% per year for 2 years? Option A $17.50, option B $70, option C $572.45, option D $500.14. The correct answer is option B, $70. Compounding would repeatedly change the balance and is not part of the simple minus interest model. Simple interest uses the original principal for every time period. Multiply principal, annual rate written as a decimal, and time in years. For the volunteer's record at the science laboratory, the final selection should preserve the stated unit or mathematical form for workbooks. Question 18. A quality check in the Career Center requires a calculation involving name badges, with the volunteer handling the reviewing stage. A quantity changes from 85 to 125. What is the percent increase? Round to the nearest tenth if needed? Option A 32%, option B 147.1%, option C 47.1%, option D 40%. The correct answer is option C, 47.1%. Dividing by the new value would answer a different comparison and can noticeably alter the rate. Find the numerical difference, divide that change by the original value, and convert the decimal to a percent. Percent change uses the original quantity as the comparison base. For the volunteer's record at the Career Center, the final selection should preserve the stated unit or mathematical form for name badges. Stressed about your ATI TEAS? We can take ATI TEAS for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee a pass and payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done. Question 19. The volunteer clinic has set a target related to digital thermometers, with the planning stage. Which scientific minus notation expression represents 100,000? Option A, a 10 times 10 to the power of fifth. Option B, a 1 times 10 to the power of fifth. Option C, a 0.1 times 10 to the power of fourth. Option D, 1 times 10 to the power of fourth. The correct answer is option B, 1 times 10 to the power of fifth. Scientific notation uses a coefficient from 1 up to, but not including, 10 multiplied by a power of 10. Move the decimal until one non-zero digit remains to its left and count the places moved to determine the exponent. A value greater than 1 produces a positive exponent when the decimal moves left. For the volunteer's record at the volunteer clinic, the final selection should preserve the stated unit or mathematical form for digital thermometers. Question 20. A volunteer uses a table to monitor supply cartons at the campus mailroom, with the estimating stage. A relationship has slope 2 and y minus intercept minus 2. Which equation represents the line? Option A, x equals 2y plus minus 2. Option B, y equals 2x plus 2. Option C, y equals minus 2x plus 2. Option D, y equals 2x minus 2. The correct answer is option D, y equals 2x minus 2. Use the given slope as the coefficient of x and the vertical intercept as the added or subtracted term. Slope minus intercept form places the rate of change with the input variable and the starting value as a constant. Switching the two values changes both the steepness and the point where the line crosses the vertical axis. For the volunteer's record at the campus mailroom, the final selection should preserve the stated unit or mathematical form for supply cartons. Question 21. An activity log from the health education booth contains values for meal portions, with the volunteer handling the grouping stage. A triangular fabric piece has base 10 centimeters and height 11 centimeters. What is its area? Option A, 21 square centimeters. Option B, 110 square centimeters. Option C, 42 square centimeters. Option D, 55 square centimeters. The correct answer is option D, 55 square centimeters. Triangle area is half the product of base and perpendicular height. Perimeter methods do not measure the amount of surface inside the triangle. Multiply the two perpendicular dimensions and divide by 2. For the volunteer's record at the health education booth, the final selection should preserve the stated unit or mathematical form for meal portions. Question 22. The volunteer is revising a plan for index cards in the school auditorium, with the inspecting stage. A circle graph assigns 20% to training, 25% to supplies, 30% to travel, and 25% to outreach. If the total is 160, how many belong to travel? Option A, 48. Option B, 30. Option C, 130. Option D, 5. The correct answer is option A, 48. Convert the sector percentage to a decimal and multiply by the full amount. Using the percentage number as a count ignores the size of the whole represented by the chart. A circle minus graph sector represents its stated percentage of the entire total. For the volunteer's record at the school auditorium, the final selection should preserve the stated unit or mathematical form for index cards. Question 23. A short report from the Home Improvement Project presents a mathematical problem involving folders, with the volunteer handling the preparing stage. A budget of $140 has $75 already spent. How much remains? Option A, $55. Option B, $65. Option C, $75. Option D, $215. The correct answer is option B, $65. The remainder should be non-negative and smaller than the original budget. Remaining funds are found by subtracting expenses from the starting budget. Align the decimal points and subtract the amount spent from the available amount. For the volunteer's record at the Home Improvement Project, the final selection should preserve the stated unit or mathematical form for folders. Question 24. The apartment laundry room must adjust its plan for tickets, with the volunteer handling the reviewing stage. Which measurement is greater, 4.2 units or 2.1 units? Option A, 4.2. Option B, 5.2. Option C, 6.3. Option D, 2.1. The correct answer is option A, 4.2. The first unequal digit determines which value is greater. Trailing zeros may be added so the tenths and hundredths positions line up clearly. Decimal comparison begins with the whole minus number parts and then moves right through matching place values. For the volunteer's record at the apartment laundry room, the final selection should preserve the stated unit or mathematical form for tickets. Question 25. A calculation is needed before exercise bands can be prepared at the farmer's market, with the volunteer handling the organizing stage. Convert 14 meters to centimeters. Which measurement is equivalent? Option A, 1400.00 centimeters. Option B, 140 centimeters. Option C, 114 centimeters. Option D is 0.14 centimeters. The correct answer is option A, 1400.00 centimeters. Metric units scale by powers of 10. Use the conversion factor so the original unit cancels and the target unit remains. Converting to a smaller unit increases the numerical value because more of the smaller units fit in the same amount. For the volunteer's record at the farmer's market, the final selection should preserve the stated unit or mathematical form for exercise bands.